Hey Aaron, Byron Dubo here. Wanted to show you kind of the behind the scenes of regulating a watch. This is your Universal Geneve right here on the watch tester. It's the caliber 262. As you can see, this is just back from service, and the movement itself is in excellent condition with varying degrees of wear on the different mechanisms. So part of the challenge in regulating any vintage watch is actually taking into consideration that some of the different wear patterns of the user on their wrist, as well as trying to compensate for some of the deficiencies in the watch that are either there from limitations of the caliber design sometimes, or can certainly be introduced in a vintage watch due to different amounts of wear on different parts within the mechanism itself. So within this movement, the mainspring has been completely replaced. You can see here the balance and the balance wheel. Next to it, right here, is the regulator. As you can see, there's a area where there's a plus sign and a minus sign, and that corresponds to the rate, or the beats. The beats from the mechanism itself, per minute, per hour, or per day. Now, back in sort of the old days, watchmakers would regulate these. They'd wear it, the watch on their own wrist, then they would go back and use it up against a reference watch, generally an old stopwatch or something of that nature, to see the deviation in timekeeping. Then they would go back and re-regulate it, and they would continue this process each day. Now, luckily, in the modern era, I'm lucky enough to have a Wheatsey Watch Expert 2. This is a very expensive Swiss timing computer that's precisely calibrated. We've got a couple different readouts up here, including the rate, amplitude, beat error, and everything else. What you'll see down here is beats per hour. This Universal caliber 262 runs at 18,000 beats per hour. That reflects its timekeeping abilities. The Wheatsey is set up to take an average measurement over a 20-second period, which is what it's displaying. So here we are in the dial up and down position, and we're having a readout of a rate of plus 24 seconds per day. So that means if you were to take this watch off your wrist and leave it in a dial up or dial down position, you would gain. You can see a little bit of error here. Part of this is reflecting likely my voice and the ambient sounds in the room, since it's not completely quiet any longer. But that reflects the amount of time that the watch is either going to gain or lose in that position throughout the day. So the challenge again in regulating it is to look at all the different positions. So that's dial up, dial down, crown up, crown down, etc. That the user is more likely to wear the watch in, and then sort of precisely regulate in order to get the best timekeeping capabilities out of that particular movement and out of that particular watch. So that's what I've been doing over the last about week and a half, given your anticipated user's wear patterns, that is your wife's. Been trying to get this as close as possible to true timekeeping in a dial up and dial down, as well as a crown down position. So that's been my challenge here. Hopefully it will reach you in good condition and offer you and your wife many years of satisfactory timekeeping, with the caveat that all vintage watches will be much, much inferior timekeepers than the cell phone that you likely have in your pocket or in your purse. But in any case, that's how it's done here. After the watchmakers fully serviced everything, I put it through a painstaking sort of checklist of my own, making sure that all their work was done right, and regulate it based on the customer's ultimate preferences, until I'm satisfied that it's a watch that I'm happy to associate my name with and send out the door. So hope that offers some explanation for what I've been up to. Right now we're at plus 14 or 15 seconds a day in this position, and that actually cancels itself out ideally, in the crown down position where it runs a little bit slower. So that's been the challenge here. I'll send you a couple still shots, but enjoy the watch. It's a beautiful, beautiful watch with a very, very uncommon sort of dial configuration and color. I think you'll get many, many great years out of it, and certainly will have an elegant presence on your wife's wrist. So enjoy. Thanks again for your friendship, for your business here, and looking forward to future transactions, trades, discussions about vintage watches in the future. It's something I sure do enjoy. Take care. Thanks so much.